Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody who joins us. My name is Ola Tamanova, and it's my pleasure to welcome you at Ukraine Media Center today. Today we have invited you for a broadcast during which we will discuss demining with the State Emergency Service of Ukraine. We are going to discuss the condition, the progress of demining. We'll talk about the people, the material, the aid, and innovations in this sector. Joining us in the studio is Serhii Reva, head of the Department for Organization Work on Humanitarian Demining at the Ukraine State Emergency Service. Good afternoon, Mr. Serhii. Good afternoon. So, Mr. Serhii, let's start with the results. We understand that the topic of demining is important for all of us. The amount of work, yes, we understand it too. We were reiterating it for years again and again. So yes, unfortunately, for the time being, our country is one of the most decontaminated with the explosive ordnance, and thanks to the mine action operators, the territory of mined territory was decreased, and the potentially demined area is 139,000 square kilometers. The demining technicians continue fulfilling their tasks. For the time being, we were able to demine 1,700 square kilometers. We've demined a lot of unexploded ordnance. First of all, we react to the detection of the explosive ordnance by the population, then the infrastructure, in order to be able to ensure that people have all of the utility services supplied, then agricultural fields to reinvigorate our economy, and then we proceed to the forests, to the water bodies. Well, you can see the results on the screen. We were able to achieve those results thanks to the support of our international partners. You see there's a lot of the flags of different countries as well as logos of different organizations. And on behalf of all of the technicians, we want to thank for all this support that they keep providing to us since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, and also with the beginning of the war with Russia back in 2014. And thanks to our partners, we have 96 mechanized demining vehicles that we actively use in the fields, in the deoccupied territories. What is a machine? Machine is about the safety of our personnel. This is a priority because having ensured the security of and safety of life and health of our deminers using those demining vehicles, we save their lives, and they will be able to continue detecting explosive ordnance and continue demining. So using the machines, we were able to demine more than 3,000 hectares of the territory. That's quite an amount, and we continue growing our pace. We keep involving more and more machines in Kherson, Mykolaiv region, Donetsk, Kharkiv region. The demining operations are in progress in Kyiv region. So the use of these innovative methods is continuing and only is going to improve. Another area we work in is underwater demining. We search for waterways along the riverbed of Dnipro River. We search water bodies in different settlements. We understand that the beach season is about to open, and if the local authorities will have such an opportunity, they are going to open the beaches. We use the underwater drones, we use sonar boats, because thanks to these type of equipment, we can speed up the search of the unexploded ordnance in the water bodies. We can focus our attention on contaminated aquatories and to get the demining divers involved so they can diffuse that unexploded ordnance. Last year, we've grown our capacity in terms of underwater demining because we understand that after the victory, we're going to have to demine the Black Sea, Equatorial, and then the Sea of Azov. And the demining divers are going to be in demand. So with this understanding, from the very beginning of the full-scale invasion, understanding all of the challenges, we've grown the staff of our deminers almost 4 times, and we continue manning our units with personnel. We continue manning them with equipment, and obviously there's a lot of training. Training is an integral part of any such process, because the better is the training of the deminers, the higher the probability everything will be done in the most efficient and quick way. Now we're working on construction of the training center in one of the regions with the support of the Japanese government. There's going to be an innovative training center with modern, up-to-date training platforms that are going to be used by our deminers to make sure that under the conditions of this modern war, we have understanding of how to demine the contaminated territories. Another thing we've done that enabled us to obtain a lot of information about the contaminated territories was the analysis of satellite images, using which we were able to identify the territories that are where the agricultural works can continue and where they cannot. So we could forward our deminers to the territories that where the agricultural works are not in progress, so that they could detect whether there are or there are no unexploded ordnance. Thus, we were able to analyze those territories and identify that these or those fields can potentially be contaminated. So out of all of the territory that was analyzed, only about 20% is the territory where the agricultural works are not continuing, and these are the territories about which the information should be verified by visits, by personal visits of the deminers there. So the information is being updated before sowing campaign and after the sowing campaign in order to update this information to understand what should be the further way of work on those territories. And yet another area that we fulfilled tasks in this year, the tasks were set by the government. We've established the register of the hazardous territories. That's going to be an information platform that will integrate a lot of information about the landlots. It will be integrated with other registers, agrarian register, geocadastre, the system of information management, IMSMA. So all of the information will be layered there over one another, and the citizens will be able to draw information about this or that landlot, to have an extensive information about what was going on in that landlot, whether it's dangerous, whether there were any demining works over there, or any information about that landlot is absent. So it's quite an ambitious plan that we have to launch this register by the end of the year. Thank you, Mr. Serhii. Quite an interesting story. I would like to ask you, how do you first of all prioritize your tasks, and whether this register will help you in prioritization of the landlots that are supposed to be demined? And secondly, we know that in the market there's a lot of operators, including the independent ones, that work on demining of those landlots. We were talking a lot about the agricultural lands for which there are demining programs launched, and the programs of compensation of demining expenses. So how is this or that land lot prioritized by the State Emergency Service of Ukraine. Well, it's easy. There is an annual plan that identifies the priorities of the land lots, which of them are supposed to be demined. That annual plan is being approved during the meeting of the National Demining Authorities. So who does prioritize the land lots? It's the local authority, because it's them who are closer to the agrarians. It's them who understand what exactly needs to be demined in this or that territory, in this or that territorial community, and they set the priorities. And seeing those priorities, we understand that, okay, today we need to do the demining in a community in a Sumy region, like 3 fields, because they are supposed to be sown. There are farmers ready to start sowing, who are ready to harvest then, and this crop is a priority for that specific region. So basically, the prioritization is directly related to the way that the local authorities work with the farmers. Thank you. Okay, another important topic about innovations in demining. We've seen there's a lot of new machines used in this process. There was an interesting figure, 5,000 detonations. Does it mean that during the machine demining, that was the number of explosions? Yes, exactly. The machines are exactly used to ensure safety for the deminers, and there are detonations during the machine operations when the machines, using their working parts, they stimulate the detonation of the mines. It causes sometimes damage to the machines, but this is how they work. This is how they're supposed to work. We identify the minefields like this, in this way. Then the deminers start working. They defuse the mines that are sitting right in the way, and then the machines continues working and starts searching for the edges of the minefields. Yeah, we see a lot of those machine operations. You keep informing us about the novelties in demining. So what are the priorities there? Are there any favorites of yours among those technological pieces of equipment that helps you in demining process? And secondly, is their number sufficient, or do we really need way more so we could understand, like 96 units? Is it a good number, or is it only 10% of our demand?
I would say that's quite a good quantity. And now we have one of the biggest park of those machines in comparison to other countries. Is there priorities for those machines? Well, each machine is designed for a specific task. So comparing their efficiency is not viable, but if we're talking about, for example, demining anti-tank mines, those are more valuable, of course. They are more resilient and more sturdy. And we understand that each machine has its designation. It is accomplishing the work that it's designed to do. Also, let's take into account that those machines need repairs. You said about water bodies, our water bodies, that are also a focus of your attention. So, do we track how much water bodies has been studied? I would say that it's not really a big percentage of what we will be dealing after our victory. We are mostly dealing with small rivers, small water bodies, but those are very different volumes as compared to the Black Sea territory, equatory, because that will be a big amount of work for us after the victory. And this type of work will also need to support some kind of waterways for the machinery of of the Ministry of the State Emergency Service. We will have to prioritize the waterways before the recreational, for example, lakes or rivers. So what the common people should be paying attention to in terms of water bodies? Well, they should be paying attention to the territories that were previously occupied, and those are the places that are much more dangerous and are potentially mined because exactly the fact that they were occupied. So after that, this will be also a huge amount of work for us in terms of information providing to the population. We are soon entering the summertime, and people will be using water bodies in recreational way. So by the time, will those places be designated officially opened for visiting or closed off? Yes, all the information about opening beaches or not their opening, those decisions are accumulated and established by the local authorities, and if there is a necessity, our units are ready to investigate beaches and as I previously said, a lot of attention should be paid to what is going on in the water, and if there is any kind of suspicion, it should be reported to local representatives of the State Emergency Service. What can you tell us about the dynamics of traumatizing of people on the beaches? How well are we learning to pay attention to what's going on in terms of mined territories? Well, I should say that our population has become quite proficient in recognizing the dangerous or potentially dangerous mined territories. So unfortunately, the statistics shows that a lot of our people, like around 800 people, 800 people were faced the detonations during the past year. 300 of them died. At the same time, of course, the dynamics has lessened, but still the danger is still high. Thank you for this conversation. Dear colleagues, if you have questions, please get them ready. Also, I would like to ask about that huge slide with partners and countries that help us, and I understand it's very important. It is understandable that the amount of international cooperation is high, but maybe you could tell us who among our partners are the most contributing into this process of demining. You said correctly that we don't want to, offend anybody who is taking part in this effort. That's why we are very grateful to everyone who is taking part in this process of the humanitarian demining. And it doesn't matter if it's one-time projects, contracts, or programs, strategic state programs. But of course, the UN and its departments and Japan are the ones that are exercising a huge amount of help, providing a huge amount of help for us. And there is a lot of different projects that are in active development. So this is like the main actors of among those that are taking part in the humanitarian demining. And the rest is just doing what they can, and that's why we're grateful. Is it the amount of help from our partners? Is it like sufficient for the challenges that we are facing? Yes. For now, we are more or less covered, but in terms of training, that's where our focus lies right now. That's where we are lacking, and in this regard, we should take into account that the training process takes at least half a year or even a year, and this is why this is our main priority right now. The direction we are working in, it's working with our partners, in terms of delivering the machinery to Ukraine, training of personnel, creation of logistics network, and logistics hubs. We understand that this amount of machinery needs to be constantly repaired. It is constantly naturally damaged and needs to be repaired and put into service. Also, we are right now we are studying working in the direction of utilization of air drones for determination of the territories that are mined, and this is very perspective direction. And this is where we have a lot of opportunities to involve different firms, companies, and private actors. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for your work. Thank you, everybody. Watch our announcements, and we are working for our victory. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes.